And now we have another session, which is Martech has become a hot topic between the marketing leaders, and we all know that. And I think everyone in this room has spent a lot of time on their stack. Taking this conversation forward, our next speakers will be talking about considerations you need to make when you're choosing the perfect stack. So please welcome, the first step is Aswin Ravi. He's a director MIA at WebEngage. He leads WebEngage's MIA business and drives the growth of customers and partners in the region. Aswin has been leading post-sales, revenue operations, and technical sales in WebEngage and Freshworks for almost a decade. Please welcome Aswin. Give a round of applause. Thank you. And accompanying him is Vittorio Barraja. He's a former group sales and marketing director at Travelstart. Vittorio has a proven track record of delivering significant revenue growth, high brand equity, and quantifiable marketing ROI and long-term market sustainability. Please welcome on stage Vittorio and Aswin. Give a round of applause, and they're ready to share the insights. You need the, okay. Can hostess assistant, please? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Kate, we are here to speak about what would be the Martech stack. What is the definition of a Martech stack? I'm joined by Vittorio, who has significant experience working with multiple Martechs. So the first question which I'm going to be speaking about over here is, what are the modern age challenges a marketer would be facing? So Vittorio, your thoughts on what the problems a modern age marketer are facing right now?
Thanks very much for the invitation, Aswin, to start with. It's a pleasure to meet the all of you. I mean, of course, there are multiple problems or challenges that modern marketers are facing on a daily basis. I believe today I would like to highlight two of them, which in my opinion are particularly relevant. The first one is especially for digital marketers or anyway specialists which are active in the online or omni-channel space, is the increasing amount of touching points. As you probably already know or are actually aware of, people now have multiple devices. At the same time, new GDPR rules as well as regulations are protecting privacy like never before. So reconciling multiple devices to only one person, it's becoming increasingly complex. And this is something, I believe represents a true challenge if we really want to understand the customers right. The second one is about targets. In a such now complex environment, such as modern tech marketing, it's very easy to claim to be able to track everything, and this is often the case, so it's definitely possible. However, it's becoming more and more complicated to understand what a company really wants to achieve and what to expect to understand from people, customers, as well as sales targets, and how to measure them. So this is what I believe is relevant here.
Brilliant. So you said about multiple touch points as well as GDPR, other compliances. How do you think you would have to assess these gaps, and what are the checkpoints you would want to be in place when you're engaging with the customers?
That's quite a stratified problem, truth be told, and also quite technical. I would say a normal sales pitch, which I'm not trying to give here, will claim some miracle solution of being able to completely reconcile customers within one platform, but this is not the case, and I don't want to come here and claim something which is technically impossible. It's a statistical game. So first of all, there is the needs of a deep technological understanding of how the single touch points, whether it's a phone to a laptop, multiple emails perhaps with the same name, can really connect to each other. And secondary point, to understand what we can legally track back and how can unite them into identifying one single profile. Based on that, there is a statistical game into trying to expand such profile into multiple audiences to understand, okay, how this particular example can be expanded to become a population.
Perfect. So it's definitely what you said makes sense. You can't have one singular solutions. What do you think there are silo solutions available? How do you think the challenges of a traditional single approach would be a problem in the new age revolution?
I believe this is actually a very interesting timing story to have this kind of issue. So the actual word, Martech, is something that only came up in the last, I would say, 3-4 years, perhaps 5 years top. And truth be told, the vast majority of the world is still unsure about what this truly means. And more specifically, when we come about tracking and multiple tools talking to each other, there is a legacy where there are a lot of specialized players into understanding a specific topic or analyzing a specific touch point, as we just discussed. And then it's very complicated to put them together. So this is a little bit of a legacy of working with different tools. And something that right now multiple players in the market are trying to change, creating omnichannel solution, unified analytics, which are very, very important topics. And I would say there is still huge margin to get there.
Absolutely. We are all evolving with time. I think the last 5 years has been a breathtaking approach over here. What do you think is going to be customer engagement? Everyone says about hyper-personalizations. How do you want to approach it? What do you think would be the right way? Considering you have worked with multiple geographies, multiple regions, what do you think would be the right approach for hyper-personalized campaigns, which is the need of the hour?
Well, I guess we have a couple of minutes more because we spare time. So maybe this is something that we should discuss a little bit more. I would say I will start this answer by something which is not as tech-driven like the rest I've told so far. In my opinion, especially right now, the way people consume online content, but not just online content, in general, we consume informations, it's very, 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 how can I say, time constrained in a way. People don't want to spend the same amount of time as before to read up on something, even in a store. They want what they want immediately. So there is no time for studying, for exploration, for thinking about things. At the same time, also, if you are a supplier or a seller or whatever service you might want to provide, this also applies to you. People are not keen to spend time studying on your product. At the same time, this will probably take any smart marketing to saying, okay, at this point, I need to put something on the face of the customer, which is extremely relatable to what they want. But as we just said, the amount of people online or even physically in a store, are a lot. And being a lot, there are a lot of different needs. And considering the way the world is actually evolving and the lack of time in studying something, hyper-personalization is absolutely becoming a major topic. So that's how I see it.
Makes sense. So considering hyper-personalization, the question over here is, what do you think would encompass a perfect Martech stack? I know it's an ideal case scenario, but let's say if you have to identify 3-4 major pain points or key functionalities which you'll be looking forward or for choosing a solution, what would those be?
That's $1 million question. I would say everything, in my opinion, starts from a solid analytics. That's where I always suggest everyone I work with or the companies I'm working with to start from. Without a solid analytics, whether it's a retail analytics or an online analytics, in my opinion, you really can't crack this. Once you get the proper analytics, the secondary point is a solid CRM solution. I would say the COVID time actually put a huge pressure in the world in terms of, in a way, accelerating the CRM process. Many retailers offline had, of course, to digitalize because of the pandemic and the lockdowns throughout the world. At the same time, also, there's been a huge shift in the way digital marketing is performed, as well as the worldwide marketing budgets. So this actually created a situation to where suppliers, sellers, advertisers, however you want to call them, had to really leverage first-party data, which requires a solid CRM to engage with people. So CRM definitely comes second. Third point is, it's a little bit more technical, but a solid data lake. This is something which is often I don't want to say disregarded, but surely not emphasized enough, in my opinion. And especially in the marketing space, a lot of marketers tend to to just talk about tech like it's just something there, not being specific, while doing our job. Being specific is honestly everything. A solid data lake is what really allows all the rest to work properly. And it's really important also for marketeers, whether digital or more traditional, to really understand how it works, because it represents a pool where all the information can be gathered in the proper way. So that's definitely the third one. And then we can end up with CDP, so customer digital platform. And this is still a relatively new topic. There are some very famous companies speaking in this event right now, so it's very exciting and probably already heard about that. But as we just discussed, once you start to have such an amount of clients that come from digital, from retail, from all data, and so on, especially on multiple emails, multiple touching points, multiple whatever primary key you want to use for your database, you're going to find out that putting them together into one single person is actually a mess. At this point, having a customer platform actually really makes a difference. So these are the four I would suggest.
Perfect. So I think a combination of analytics, customer engagement, plus overall reports and data integrations with multiple parties is going to be the key, I guess. Considering that's going to be modern age social tools and everything else, what do you think the next big Martech stack would include? We saw CDP, which is coming in the last 2 years. Martech itself, which is, as you said, it's only 5 years old. What do you think the next 2 years or 3 years down the line, what would the Martech stack would evolve to, is the question which I would ask.
I guess it very much depends about the specific country in the world you're talking about.
Let's consider GCC, like the company GCC to be.
In the GCC, but not only GCC, GDPR regulations are becoming stricter or starting. At the same time, for the technical marketers, and if you're not, guys, I'm sorry, I know I'm boring, so please, I hope you don't mind. The cookie world, so the third-party data kind of marketing is about to change. Apple introduced very strict rules, as well as Facebook, in terms of the kind of data we can use to target users and also the data collection. So this is definitely changing the way all the companies do marketing, the measurability of such marketing. And as we said, it's important to invest on the first-party data, which is the sure kind of data set that belongs to the organization with our previous customers, in a way, people that expressly agreed on being contacted and having data stored. So I would say what needs to happen in the next couple of years is to find better tools or players capable of integrating this first-party data into something that can be used to target people online, even if it's not possible like before. So in my opinion, this is a huge gap in the market, which we're going to see how it goes.
Perfect. I think that summarizes, because we saw a new rule which is about data policies and privacy aspect as well. I think that summarizes it really well. It's going to be very critical. Europe has gone through the cycle. I think, rightly said, GDPR as well as any data compliance laws is going to be the next big thing. I think everyone should be working towards it. I think we are good from my side. I think if there are any questions for Vittorio, we'd be able to answer it. Great. I think
Well, we've done it on time.
Wonderful.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Are there any more questions? Do we have anyone? No? I think you guys made it crystal clear. Thank you so much, Aswin and Vittorio, for this brilliant session.